You know, they say that the first step of recovery is admitting that you have a problem. And my problem is that I am addicted to buying cichlids for my 125-gallon tank. And I've got a whole crate full of them here. But there's already a lot of cichlids in there along with all of the other fish. And it's a big tank, but eventually I'm gonna run out of room. So at some point I've got to stop buying cichlids. I also have a solution in that yesterday I bought a tank much bigger than this. The kind of big dream tank I've always wanted. And hopefully I'll be setting that up within a week or so, and you'll see that here on the channel. So now the solution to my problem is that this is a grow out tank for the big cichlid tank. And I'm gonna have some real monster fish in there, a couple of which are already in this crate. I believe out of this tank, the 3 parrot fish, there's a polar blue parrot, a red blood parrot, and a platinum parrot. Those will probably all go in the big tank. And I've got some big plans for that, but it allows me the flexibility to continue to add to this tank and kind of see which fish outgrow it and which ones don't fit in with the rest of the inhabitants. So let me show you what I got today. First bag, now they're gonna be hard to see in the bag, that there are 3 more blue rams in here. And those rams only get 2 or 3 inches at the most. And it would take a lot of rams to overpopulate this aquarium. So those aren't the problem. Next we have a Yawaru. Now this Yawaru I would not buy if I didn't have another tank to move him into. This guy gets, I don't know, 10 or 12 inches. They get pretty big. And they're a big body fish, so they turn into a dinner plate. And he could live in a 125, no problem. But I didn't set this up to be full of a few big fish. This one I'm really excited about, and you're not going to be able to see him very well either. But this is a new type of geophagus that I haven't seen in person before. And I forgot the pronunciation. I'll look that up and tell you in a minute. That's going to be a gorgeous fish. And then in this bag, we have a firemouth. Another fantastic fish, and I wanted to add a firemouth, but an adult firemouth might be too aggressive for this aquarium, so I hadn't gotten one yet. But this firemouth will be on the smaller side of all the fish in here, and even if he's a little more aggressive, with the size of this tank, I don't think he's going to cause a problem. And I'll definitely have a few months to see how he does, and then move him into the bigger aquarium. Now I've got 3 more fish that I'm super excited about that are in here, but I'm not going to show those in this video. Those will be set up in another grow out tank, and then as soon as the main tank is set up, you'll see them. But these are the monster fish, but they're only a few inches right now. A lot of times I let the water from the bag into the tank, and some people don't like that. Today I'm not going to do it because this store has duckweed in their tanks, and I don't want duckweed in mine. So I'm actually going to net these guys out of the bag and release them that way. He doesn't want to swim out. He doesn't know. Come on, there you go. Now this one was labeled in the store as a Geophagus heckelii, but it's not actually a geophagus. It is common name threadfin acara, proper name A. heckelii. I feel like it's rare that a fish eats right after you put them in, but we're going to try it with some frozen food here. We got bloodworms and some frozen shrimp. They always get a feeding frenzy, just don't know if any of the new guys will be involved. I've got to block that glare off so I can do better filming. I think that's one of the new rams, but all the rams I have look similar. There's another ram. They're not hiding, so that's good. There's the keyhole cichlid. There's the firemouth. Their colors are not super bright when they're this size, but they really brighten up as they get bigger. It's into a bright red on the whole underside of the body. And there is the Yawaru. He's kind of keeping to himself. He swam out into the middle where most of the fish are a little bit ago, but now he's kind of retreated into the back. So if you're not familiar with Polypterus, they are a prehistoric species according to everything you read. They have the ability to breathe above water, and there's a wide range of them. Now, this type of Polypterus right here, the common name is Bichir, and this is a Senegal Bichir. They get to 12 to 14 inches long, fairly peaceful, but they'll eat anything that fits in their mouth. They're a bottom dweller, great fish. I've been keeping the Senegal Bichir for over 20 years. Now, these other types of Bichirs are much more rare, and you really couldn't get them 20 years ago. I mean, they existed in nature, but you couldn't get them in the aquarium hobby. You can see this is a much more feisty fish. He's fired up. He wants out of the bag. And this fish grows up to 28 inches. So it's a good thing I've got the bigger tank for him. This is a lower jaw Bichir. Just a beautiful specimen. The third one is one I've had before, but it's also a big lower jaw species. And when I got this one in the past, it was a decade ago, I paid $150 to have one of these shipped to me because you couldn't find them in stores. And I grew him out to about 14 inches before I moved and got rid of my aquariums. So, beautiful Bichir. Inlet cherry, they are commonly referred to as an Indy. Now I'm going to get these three fish into the aquarium and then we'll get another look at them. And that is a Geophagus hecali. And he is right down here next to the Geophagus tapaho. He's got some darker markings on it, a little bit different shape on his mouth, and a black stripe that goes through his eye. He's just a little bit bigger than the other Geo. And then of course I've got a much larger Geo in there as well. The other one is about twice as long as these two, but he's been hiding since I got him. So I love this aquarium. But as I was saying earlier, if all of these fish were full grown, it would be overstocked. But starting next week, you'll see the setup of the new monster tank, and anything that gets too big or too aggressive in here will move into the big tank, and I won't have any more overcrowding problems. But for now, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.